TWT fans, it is so good to be back on this August 22nd, 2024. And of course, I'm so glad that so many of you have come back for more. Let me start off by getting the necessary evils out of the way by saying thank you to everybody out there for subscribing, watching, sharing, and doing all the things you do. I greatly appreciate it. Please keep doing it. If you're new to the podcast, stopping by, maybe you got sent a link, hey, hit that subscribe button, all right? It's the most important thing you can do for the podcast. It's free for you. This is not free to do, so please be clicking the subscribe button, all right? And then, of course, if you want your opportunity to be a guest, tell your story, or maybe there's a story that needs to be heard, huh? All right, well, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com is the official email of the podcast. You just got to send an audio, video, or type it out, but send that over to the official email of the podcast, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. And then, of course, don't forget about the Linktree link. It is in the description below the video. It gives you access to everything TWT. Go ahead and click it, follow, and subscribe. And then, of course, copy that link and share it with everybody. But also remember, if you're watching this video right now, click that share button, all right? Share it with everybody that you know. All right. Hopefully they like it as much as you do. And again, I appreciate everything. Let's get into today's podcast. So what's happening, everybody? It has been a crazy day. Today's actually my mom's birthday, so this is kind of fun. But, you know, I've just been keeping busy, thinking about all the things I have to do for my job. I'm going to be traveling soon and taking care of a store in Ohio, which is going to be super fun. Things have been very busy, very hectic, and you know, I don't really have a lot. You know, right now I am getting ready. You know, September 14th is right around the corner, so it's exciting time for me. Almost 8 years, and it's still going strong, even with all the ups and downs in life. The one thing that stays consistent is me not drinking. And I have to say, even though I watch Trailer Park Boys now, all right? And it is absolutely mindless, senseless stuff. And I love it to death. Anything where I can just turn it on and not think or just forget for a little bit. It feels good. And I don't know if it does it for you, but cartoons, stupid TV shows, you know, just idiotic shit going on, just helps me with the fact that, like, I think too much. I make too many decisions, and I'm always dealing with these obstacles, and sometimes it just feels nice to let go, and I'm glad my escape is cartoons and silly TV shows, because some people's escapes, well, there's usually, you know, bondage involved, and what's that stuff called, you know, where they get whipped and chained, and they have women with high heels step on them. I'm glad I didn't have to go in that direction to let go of my everyday tasks at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I don't know if I would be able to handle that. I watch these videos of, like, I'll just say Asians, because I'm not sure which area they're in, but they literally just sit there and take logs and they spread their legs and they just have another dude, like, kick them over and over and over again. And you're like, man, what does that actually do for you? And are you a stronger person because of it? But every time I watch those things, I throw up a little bit in my throat, because I'm like, whoo, I mean, I don't know about you out there, but one small tap could bring me to my knees. And I'm like, no, it's the worst pain in the world. I feel like it just goes right into your stomach. You know, so I just think it's like, it's kind of funny in a way, you know, where we're at today, what we're going through, and what people choose to do to themselves is just wild. But yeah, being still pushing forward, still doing everything that I need to be doing. But I do have to say that Trailer Park Boys basically revolves around alcohol. And I thought at first, I was like, man, I don't know if this is a good idea for me. It might, what's that word? It may like make alcohol look exciting or something. Oh my God, they drink so much on that show that all it does is keep reminding me of where I never want to go again. So I don't know if that's because I'm getting closer to my 8 years that my brain is switched now and it looks at alcohol as just a negative, bad thing, no matter what or how people are using it, or even if they're like portraying them having a good time. I just think of it as a poison, and how can these people just keep doing this to themselves? But, you know, it didn't do that. It didn't make alcohol look appealing to me again. It actually just kind of, I am still capable of enjoying the TV show and laughing. But as for the alcohol stuff, I'm like, oh, that's where I never want to go again. Or like they did a whole like sober like season or whatever. And, they all started drinking again, you know what I mean? And then I was like, oh, look at that. It really does go right back to where it was. It doesn't change. You know, all these people were doing so much better. Everything was so much cleaner and happier, and there was no alcohol involved. And then all of a sudden, alcohol gets reintroduced, and the whole place goes to shit. Everything gets destroyed again. It turns into a shithole almost overnight. And you're like, wow, that is the definition of alcohol for almost everybody. I get it. There are some people out there that can drink like I smoke marijuana. I understand that. But at the end of the day, marijuana is not a poison. Now, I'm not too sure about the deltas. I don't know about those, but I feel like those are on the verge of... there's something going on with the deltas, but I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I will tell you, every time I have them, I get headaches. I can't wake up, and I don't feel like myself. So I don't know what that means. I haven't looked into it too much, but I do have to say that like the deltas are a little weird. But as for THC itself, not a big deal for me. So I'm super happy I can still enjoy that and not have an issue. But I do understand that there are people out there that can drink alcohol like I smoke marijuana and they have no problems. And I get that, but you're still poisoning yourself at the end of the day. It's still a poison, you know? So even though you can drink and you can handle yourself, is your body capable of handling that for a long period of time? You know, or is it going to tear your body down because it's literally poisoning you, you know? So I think, people trying to find ways to introduce alcohol very little, because it's beneficial. Look, almost everything has a benefit, but at the end of the day, I don't think any alcohol is really that beneficial for any of us. You know, I really don't. Marijuana is therapeutic. Alcohol is not. It is not something a doctor would prescribe to you if you were having, depression or whatever, like anxiety, whatever medical tag you want to attach to marijuana today to get your medical license. They would never do that for alcohol. Never. I mean, could you imagine a cancer patient being told that, if you have a couple drinks a week, it might reduce that cancer? Well, no, that would never happen because alcohol turns into sugar and sugar feeds cancer. So I don't know. I look at marijuana completely differently because we do have medical purposes for it. And I do not believe there is one medical purpose on this planet for alcohol. So therefore, it's a less than drug, and I don't think it's doing anybody any good today at all. This is a great time to take a quick break so you can hear from my sponsor. Hey, fashion lovers, are you ready to make a statement? Here at Slow Down Clothing, your ultimate destination for tattooed-inspired prints and vibrant colors that'll turn heads wherever you go. Imagine stepping out in style with our eye-catching t-shirts, perfect for making every day feel like a runway. And it doesn't stop there. Our embroidered hats add that perfect finishing touch to your look. Back to school season is just around the corner, and we've got a fantastic selection of kids' tees that will have your little ones looking sharp and feeling comfy. Still planning on soaking up the sun? Don't worry. Slow Down Clothing has you covered with our range of beach towels and swimwear. Enjoy those sizzling sunny days in style. So why wait? Head over to slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com and explore the incredible collection today. And here's the best part. When you fill up your cart with all those amazing items, don't forget to use promo code TOPHER at checkout for a sweet 10% off your entire purchase. Slow Down Clothing, where fashion meets fun. Transform your wardrobe and make every day extraordinary. Remember, life is too short for boring clothes. Shop now and let your style shine. Visit slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Style awaits. All right, and I'm back, everybody. It is time for Topher's Topics. We're going to start off with some wild things today. There's a lot going on, but the first thing that I wanted to get into today, Taylor Swift concert turns into a terrorist attack attempt. Has anybody been hearing about this? This is ISIS/K. I don't know what the K stands for. Obviously, this is happening in Australia, so maybe it's an ISIS branch over there. Maybe they do the same thing our corporations do. They have branches of their evil militia. They can't just be called ISIS everywhere. We got your ISIS K, your ISIS A, your ISIS U. I don't know. I'm making shit up right now. But I was reading the article, and this is not the article that I was reading. There has been updated articles. There has been 3 people arrested so far. It links to ISIS-K. This is happening in Australia. It was going to be an enormous venue. Like, enormous. The amount of people that were going to go to this. And they said, I don't know who said it, maybe one of the 3, but they actually said that they wanted to take out as many people as possible. It was going to be a complete and absolute massacre. Why? All right, don't get me wrong. I've met a few Swifties in my life. As annoying as they are, and as crazy as I think you are, I'm sorry. When you're that obsessed about a famous person, it's borderline issue right there. Borderline issue. I hope you love yourself as much as you love this famous person is what I'm getting at. Because it doesn't always turn out to be the story, right? People that are that obsessed with famous people probably don't like themselves as much, and they're looking at this thing like it's better than them. And I think that's unhealthy. But that being said, I don't think Swifties are bad. They're just, I don't know. They're enjoying her music and her bullshit that she speaks and her, I don't know, whatever else she does. Who gives a shit? I don't. I don't like Taylor Swift. I don't listen to Taylor Swift, and you couldn't pay me enough to. I've heard some songs, of course. I'm not, completely retarded. I listen to music, and I listen to things going on. But at the end of the day, I couldn't believe that they would try to take out Swifties. Like, what is that going to do for your overall? Like, I don't understand. Like, I understood even though I think it was an inside job, it was the Twin Towers, like you were taking out, our financial situation. That was a hit to the stock market, to this, to that. So it made sense to me, right? It was a tactical attack. What does causing a massacre at a Taylor Swift concert and possibly killing Taylor Swift, which is wild, right? She's just a fucking singer. She's not a politician. Maybe she has some drive because she might say something like, I vote this way and now all the Swifties vote that way. I don't know. Maybe she does have some influence. But at the end of the day, it's just a Taylor Swift concert. So what are you trying to accomplish? And of course, there's no information on this because we're probably never going to know why. We just know who and when and what they were planning on. But we will never know probably the why. I don't think they'll ever speak up. They're probably eating those pills right now to take their own life. I don't know. Like, that's what I imagine. It's a TV show inside my head, right? I mean, that's all I have to base it off of. But you're like, man, what was that going to accomplish? What was that going to do? And, not for nothing, if this podcast comes out, we made it past August 12th and 13th, which is Israel's bloodiest days. And right now, I do believe that there is a possibility for this happening and something really popping off right now. But I don't know if it's going to be that day. And of course, that would be over in Israel and Iran and all the stuff going on over there. But it's eventually going to trickle to us. But I do believe right now that anything that's going to happen is going to happen. I think they're going to wait till after the election for anything to happen here. But, I mean, just imagine right now, just for fun, hypothetical, right? China invades Taiwan. Russia annihilates Ukraine. Israel, Iran, Iraq, just go all, I don't want to say the word nuclear because it's too hot of a word today, but what if they just start unleashing onto all of these areas, and these areas are just being attacked because these guys have built the evil alliance, right? They've all shaken hands. They're like, fuck NATO. We're going to make our own NATO. We'll protect ourselves. What if they just all decide to attack all at once? What are we going to do? And then, you don't think there's sleeper cells in the U.S.? The same thing that Russia was doing during the Cold War? You don't think every single organization out there has got somebody sleeping around the U.S. just waiting for that phone call? Just waiting for it. So, I don't know. We wouldn't be able to really handle that. That would definitely be something that could potentially happen, even though it's a hypothetical. But right now, everything's so wild and crazy. So, still doesn't answer my question, though. Why a Taylor Swift concert in Australia? Why? There had to have been a target or somebody or something, or maybe it was the building they were in. Something tied to that had some importance. It can't be that you're just taking out Swifties and trying to kill Taylor Swift. It just can't. It can't be. It's got to be more to it, but we won't know. Or maybe we will know by now. Real quick, T-shirts. I still have them. Not many. I do want to say thank you to everybody who has purchased a T-shirt. I still can't figure out how to set up my store. I'm having trouble with a lot of things. I'm very busy, and I just can't find the time to get this thing on my YouTube channel. But if you email me, let me know what size you are. I'm blowing out the last of these shirts for like $15. So let me know if you're interested by sending an email. All right. It's right here at the bottom of the screen. It's also a clickable link in the description, but t-shirts still available. And again, thank you everybody for your purchases, and thank you to all my guests for rocking my tees and spreading the word. I really do appreciate it. All right, so let's see here. I thought I had a video, so I'll try to go through this really quick with you, but there is some serious stuff going on with the water. They have now found a chemical used in rocket fuel and fireworks is also found in an array of food products, particularly those popular with babies and children, according to findings released Wednesday by the Consumer Reports. The test by the advocacy group comes decades after the chemical called perchlorate was first identified as a contaminant in food and water. The environmental work group in 2003 found perchlorate in nearly 20% of the supermarket lettuce tested, linked to potential brain damage in fetuses and newborns and thyroid problems in adults. How do I get rid of this? There it is. Perchlorate was detected in measurable levels of 67% of 196 samples of 63 grocery and 10 fast food products. The most recent test by Consumer Reports found the levels detected ranged from just over 2 parts per billion to 79 parts per billion. Foods often consumed by children have the highest levels of perchlorate, averaging 19.4 parts per billion, while fresh fruit and vegetables as well as fast food also contained elevated amounts. In reviewing packaging types, food in plastic containers have the highest levels, averaging nearly 55 parts per billion, followed by foods in plastic wrap and paper board, Consumer Reports say. This is insane, everybody. Insane. This shit is in fireworks and rocket fuel. Why is it in our food? Because it's in the plastic. It's in the plastic. Plastic uses these chemicals to, obviously, I believe, be made. And I guess they've been hiding the simple fact that it's very highly elevated products. So we're all in much more trouble than I think. You know what I mean? Let's see what this has to say real quick. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this.
Are what you eat, then there is more evidence that we are all part of a plastic world.
Yeah, a new test from Consumer Reports found high levels of plastic chemicals in some food products that might surprise you. Bradley Blackburn has all the details.
A popular brand of soda, a chocolate protein shake, fast food chicken nuggets, and even baby food. Inside all of them, the chemicals found in plastic.
It's very hard to avoid these chemicals completely. They're everywhere in food and food packaging.
Consumer Reports tested dozens of processed foods for plasticizers called phthalates and found them in almost every single product. But the amount varied wildly, just 22 nanograms per serving in one barbecue sauce, while a canned organic ravioli had more than 53,000. Consumer Reports says they don't know how phthalates got there, whether it's in the raw ingredients or the packaging, or how the products are prepared.
They can get there through food production or through contaminated water and soil.
It's hard to say at an individual level what the risk is or what a safe level is.
John Meeker with the University of Michigan School of Public Health says some studies have found evidence phthalates could increase the risk of multiple health problems, especially with reproduction and hormones.
In males, that's things like decreased testosterone, declined sperm quality. In females, that might be count and quality of eggs available.
There is no way for consumers to know when phthalates are present. Consumer Reports found differences between nearly identical pizzas.
We're calling on the FDA to set some limits for these chemicals.
They say it's another reason to limit processed products and eat fresh, whole foods instead.
Yeah, we gotta, man, it's so sad, but it's so true. And this is why men's taints are shrinking, testosterone is dropping, childbirth is declining. Look, the more that we deal with plastic, the more we consume of processed foods, and the more that we just keep doing this to ourselves over and over again and allow these corporations to keep poisoning us, the FDA is not going to do anything. And if they do, it's going to take another 10 years. So these levels will stay right here for another 10 years because the corporations already have the product. They already have the processing. They would have to change everything. They would have to recalculate everything, and that costs hundreds of billions of millions of dollars, whatever. Not going to do it. It's not going to happen quickly. So they're going to be allowed to poison us for X amount of time. It's like China finally getting rid of the fact that they eat dogs. They're not going to be eating dogs anymore. But because so many people eat dogs over there, they had a 10-year window, which I think they have 8 years left before they're actually going to stop eating dogs. It's the way it works. You can't just pull the emergency brake on it and expect it all to be fixed right away. That would cause an accident, right? In a sense. So I think we're all in trouble. We're all in a lot more trouble than we thought. And this probably explains why there's so many people not feeling themselves today. I do believe that too. I do believe this has something to do with everything going on in the younger generation today. So it may not be all the parents' fault. So I think I'm about to change my mind on that. And that's what I do on this show. I have to change my mind. I did blame the parents a couple weeks ago. I did. It's probably not all your fault. It could be the food, could be the plastic, could be the chemicals. Who knows? All right, so $10.5 million worth of cocaine and meth seized from a tractor trailer in Massachusetts. Jesus Christ, man. I'm telling you, Mass is really putting themselves on the map. Yeah, you know, if you want to have a good time, you should go to Somerville, Drake it. I mean, you know, why don't you go to a Shoresy hockey game in Lowell? I'm sure that's going to turn out just fantastic. I really hope nothing happens, but I will tell you this much right now. I find it way too dangerous to be hanging out anywhere, but that has nothing to do with any of this. They stopped a tractor trailer in Andover with 32 kilos of suspected methamphetamine and over 400 kilos in suspected cocaine worth $10 million. This is absolutely wild. Two Indian nationals, 28-year-old Samirant Sai and 19-year-old Gusamar Sai of Fresno, California, were taken into custody during a search in a tractor trailer. Law enforcement seized exactly what I just told you, $10.5 million. Men were arrested, charged with count of conspiracy to distribute and to process intent to distribute controlled substances. If convicted, they face 20 years in prison, at least 3 years and up to life of supervised release and a fine of $1 million. Holy shit. That is wild, everybody. Absolutely wild. So they came all the way from California. I mean, our truck stops have gotten crazy around here. They're always active. They're always on. And man, I don't even know if there's really a safe way to do these type of things anymore. I wouldn't be doing it at all. But I did stupidly travel with the stuff that I had in my car I did. It was out in the open and that was stupid. But man, this is what I was looking at, because the word distribute came up in when they were doing the thing and searching the car and doing the stuff. They kept using the word distribute, because it becomes much more heavy charge. It's worse. It's worse. You do not want to be convicted of distributing a controlled drug. You just don't. But I also don't think, oh my God, hold on a second. I just read this. According to the news release of Homeland Security investigators, New England agents became aware of the California-based drug trafficking organization interested in transporting methamphetamines and other drugs to Boston. A member of the drug trafficking organization allegedly agreed to sell 65 pounds, approximately 32 kilograms, of methamphetamine to an undercover HSI agents. Oh, damn. They sold to an undercover. Well, that's kind of tough. That's their job. Yeah, that sucks, dude. But I don't know. I still don't think transporting this stuff the way that they were doing it is a very good way to do it. You know what I mean? I just don't. Let's see here. What do I got? So there was a New Hampshire-based company that sold some suppressors. This is a very short clip. I just wanted to play it, get an idea on what's going on here.
A New Hampshire company will pay $260,000 fine after pleading guilty to illegally distributing silencers. Investigators say that KBC Capital violated the National Firearms Act. According to court paperwork, the company was responsible for sending at least 26 gun silencer parts to Massachusetts residents through a website that was called Lethal Eye.
Dude, I feel like a lot of shit is going down in Massachusetts. So does that mean that everybody that means they paid $260,000 for 26 of them? Jesus Christ. So that's an even amount of money for each one. But math is not my strong suit at this moment. I'm tired this morning. But hey, look, does that mean everybody in Massachusetts has to give the suppressor back? Because technically they are supposed to be registered. You have to go through a lot to get a suppressor. I have a friend that actually did all the paperwork and stuff, and he had to, get it, and he got it, and it was like, you get paperwork with the fucking thing. Like, it has to be registered. So, does that mean everybody's got to give it back? Does that mean, are people going to go knocking on their door being like, you got to give that suppressor back? You don't have it legally. Or are they going to allow them to file the proper paperwork to make the suppressor legal? Because it's not illegal to have a suppressor. You just have to go through a certain protocol in order to acquire the suppressor. So it's very simple and difficult all at the same time. But I will tell you right now, to legally obtain even a gun license in Massachusetts is, well, I have been told it feels like it's almost impossible. But when it happens, it's like, holy shit, I got it. It's very difficult to do, which is why most New Hampshire residents, you shouldn't be traveling to Massachusetts with your handgun, because we don't have those laws around here. So it's very easy for us to, well, we got rid of carry conceal licensing in New Hampshire years ago. But Massachusetts, if you go in there and you're a New Hampshire resident, you can get in a lot of trouble for having a firearm without a Massachusetts gun license. So do keep that in mind. But I can't believe that it was so easy for them to get suppressors, and maybe they knew. Maybe they knew. They were like, aha, look at this. They're not asking me for the paperwork. Buy. You know what I mean? So, shit. And it's like, did that go to 26 households, or did that go to one person, right? That just ordered 26 because they were like, oh, look, they fucked up. I don't know. We'll find out maybe something later. But like I said, that was just a short one. Okay, so I'm going to play a minute of this clip here. But this is OpenAI's newest AI humanoid robot. Figure 2 just stunned the robot world. Let's see what happens here. This is interesting to me. I don't know if they're going to get it out in the first couple minutes. Let's try.
A brand new humanoid robot called Figure 02 just got the internet's attention. It is backed by OpenAI and some other huge names in tech like NVIDIA, Microsoft, and even Jeff Bezos' private fund. So, yeah, it's pretty big. All right, so let's get into it. Figure, the company behind this robot, just dropped a teaser video for their latest model, Figure 02. The video is short, like seriously short, but it's packed with some really interesting details if you look closely. So let's check out the video first, and then I'll break down everything you need to know.
Wow, look at this thing, huh? This is awesome. This thing's gonna be crazy, everybody. If it's using OpenAI, wow, the fucking movement's wild. What? I mean, we're looking at the arms, the fingers, the knees, the bending capability. They're basically opening up the way that the hinges work. Wow. And we're gonna stop the video right there because you guys can click the link and go check it out. But that is extremely impressive. And if you remember right, I showed these joints that they were working on, these like ball joints or whatever for better movement to make a smaller robot. Those look industrial. Like the way that those gears came apart and it shows you the moving parts inside of where the shoulder and the knee and the elbows. And then when they pulled it apart there, you could actually see how the gears fit together and everything's really nicely, tightly packed. And the movement on the hand, very, very impressive. But this being connected to OpenAI, again, I still think OpenAI is too early, right? I still think it's way too early for all of this stuff right now. The simple fact that they just implemented OpenAI into Boston traffic lights. Okay, so I don't think that it's the right time for this stuff. But now they are going to be implementing AI in traffic lights in Boston, Massachusetts, and it's supposed to help with traffic. So even though we have programmers who programmed our lights, and there's supposed to be somebody, I don't know, somewhere in the world, or maybe it's a building and they have access to every single traffic light in the world, whatever. We all know that when you walk up to the thing and you press the button, we all know that most of those don't work anymore. They're based off of the traffic flow. And even though you're a pedestrian and you press the button, I believe back in the day, we used to stop traffic. I do believe that when those things first came out, it was like you press the button, you stop traffic, you got to walk across the street. The problem with that was people were pressing the button, they were stopping traffic, and they were walking across the street, right? So eventually they had to be like, look, we need to tie this in to the traffic lights, whether they're there or not, whether they press the button or not, this thing won't go off until traffic goes by, then you can go across, then traffic gets to go again. So I believe over 65 to 100% of these things didn't even work. They were just based off of the traffic light, but at one time they did work. Now OpenAI is going to be like, I can make it better. Can you? I want to know the absolute total age of all of this AI. If it is under 10 years old in totality, then it's too soon. It's too soon. It shouldn't be making our mortgage rates. It shouldn't be making our renters rates. It shouldn't be making our electric rates. It shouldn't be directing our traffic. I'm sorry. I think it's too early. Should it be writing my commercials for my podcast? Should it be answering stupid questions? Should it be doing research and checking out or helping me, write a book? Whatever. All of that, I will say yes to. I will say yes to all of that. But I think implementing it into every inch of everyday life and now it implementing these giant, massive things, I just think it's too early. I really think it's too early, but hey, we'll find out because they're already implementing it. This is going to happen. So I hope driving around Boston becomes a little bit easier, but I doubt it. I doubt it. So I don't know if anybody has seen this yet, but now the Tesla robot, it's so wild. This shit's crazy, everybody. But it can actually snowboard now. This is wild. We're watching it go down a slope on a mountain. It looked like maybe a bunny, but who cares if it's a bunny? It is an android robot walking around. Look at it. He's getting into his bindings on his own. He's going down. That's not a bunny slope. That's not a bunny slope, everybody. That thing is, it's doing jumps. Wow. And it makes snow angels. I mean, what are we looking at here, everybody? We are looking at the future. This is becoming more and more insane to me every day. Every day, this is crazy. And you want to talk about crazy? I'm letting this entire video go. This is absolutely 100%. What's the word I'm looking for here? This is as accurate as you can get without swearing, getting upset. This is probably the best description of what our world is going to turn into if everybody keeps leaning into this wokeness. And I think this guy needs to be applauded. He should have this video shown everywhere. It only has 12.6 thousand views. That's ridiculous. This should have more views than Rogan. It should. Because if we don't listen to this guy right now, this is what our planet's going to turn into. This is what's going to happen to our society, not our planet, our society. And I don't think he's wrong. And I thought that this was very eye-opening and jaw-dropping because it really paints the picture of what is to come if we keep allowing transgender surgeries and trans animal, whatever this guy calls it. He uses all the proper words. I don't understand a goddamn bit of this, but this made a lot of sense to me, and it painted a very realistic picture of what our future could be. And I'm sorry, but this frightens me. But let's check it out because it's wild. Trans species. That's the word.
Ronnie the Rat.
My name is Ronnie the Rat. I'm a trans species elementary school teacher here in Allen ISD. Now, I have the most students in my class that have actually transitioned from a human being to a cat. Now, I know I'm a rat, but that's more because I love Chuck E. Cheese. I've spent a lot of time there, but that's why I like rats. But this is the problem, is we have a lot of trans inclusivity in other cities like Frisco. They're doing pride parades at a lot of churches. We're not doing any pride parades at churches here in Allen. And that's what we need. We need more kids on gender reassignment surgery or gender reassignment hormones. And the best way, I think, for me, that it's gotten the message out to the other students is doing it myself, leading by example. And that's what I'm trying to do here as a trans species, as Ronnie the Rat, is like, listen, there's a social stigma. Me trying to date other furries like this in Allen, there's not a community. There's not a bar that accepts me, Chris. I can't just go to the bar like this. I get made fun of. And that's the same thing that's happened to my 9-year-olds, my 10-year-olds. If they feel more comfortable being a cat, I don't mind putting a litter box in the classroom that lets them defecate in there. That's what I think is important. And should I tell the parents? No, we shouldn't tell the parents. These kids can make decisions at 10 years old. Like, their parents shouldn't be involved. That's what makes me so mad, is I get all these parents that are mad at me because I oftentimes buy these costumes for these kids, and the kids go home in the costume, and the parents come back, and they yell at, scream at me, and they say, we don't want you to sexualize our children. They call me the G word, G-R-O-O-M-E-R, which is basically like the N-word. And it's just a terrible description of who I am. I'm trying to help young kids be themselves. If they want to be a cat, if they want to defecate in a litter box, I'm all for that. I'm talking to the principal. I'm trying to get the cafeteria tables on the ground so that the kids are able to eat more ergonomically on fours like an animal. This is what we need to do. We need Allen to be more inclusive. Right now, we're suffering from a lot of bigotry. And so I'm Ronnie the Rapping Rat, so I want to end on a little rap. Yo, my name is Ronnie, I am a rat. If you talk crap, I'll get the gat. Get the booster, test it on 8 mice. I don't really care if you got lots of lice. I'm a pimp on a blimp, teaching my kids their gender. We can cut it off, throw it in a blender. Gender reassignment surgery is the key. It will set you free. Get a mastectomy. I love when you cut it off. Then you can be the boss. I'm a teacher, not a preacher. God is fake. The earth evolved from pond scum. 2 rocks smashed together. That's how we got here. Ronnie the Rat, don't grab the gat. I don't really care if you sit in the front or the back. The indoctrination is super strong. You can come to class in your little thong. I don't care what you say. Gotta vaccinate the straight, gotta vaccinate the gay. And that's what I'm sad. I'm sad that I was not one of the 8 mice that Dr. Anthony Fauci chose to test the booster on. So I have a lot of sorrow. I have a lot of things that I'm upset about. And I just want to bring awareness to Ronnie the Rapping Rat. You guys can do this. We can get more kids to become trans species, and we can get more gender reassignment surgery for 9-year-olds. Thank you, guys.
Is that not put into absolutely perfect words? Absolutely perfect. How much do you agree with that? Because I agreed with it a ton. That is what our future will hold if that's what we allow. If we keep encouraging this. If we keep on this path. This is the future we are all looking at. And I don't know about you, but it's a very, very scary future. I just thought that this guy had a really great message to put out there. He did it very well. He did it very well. His words were right. The exaggeration was great. It was a little comical at times, you know. But it makes a lot of sense. Because if we keep going this way, you know, that's what's going to be happening. And I think I mentioned this almost over a year ago. You know, I know somebody that's in one of the schools for, you know, and they had to actually fight and put a stop to a kitty litter box being put into the bathroom. So this stuff is happening. It is real, and we need to stop it. We need to stop it. Our government needs to step in and stop this gender assignment surgery, the pills, the hormones, the attempted dressing up as furries. It all needs to come to a stop. It all needs to come to a stop. I've said it once. I'll say it again. Public school is public. It's not a place for you to be able to say what you're going to do. It's run by the government, and our government allowing you to do this is wrong. They need to put a stop to it. You want to do that stuff, fine. Do it at home. Do it on your own time. And if you're under the age of 18, and you shouldn't be allowed to make a permanent decision until you're over the age of 18. You do not want to permanently change your body until you're ready. And if you're encouraging, I really feel like it's for clout. You're doing it for the gram. You're doing it for the reels. You're doing it for the TikToks. Which goes to show me that you really don't care about your kids, which is really gross. Because I wish I had kids to care about. You know what I mean? So, all right. Oh, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun today. Wild stuff going on in this world. But again, I want to say thank you to everybody for subscribing, watching, doing all the things. I greatly appreciate you. You are the reason I keep coming back week after week. If you're new, subscribe. You got to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe, please. It's very important. It helps the show. Help the show grow. All right? And then, of course, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com is the official email of the podcast. So go ahead and send an audio, video, or type it out. But send it over to talkinwithtopher@gmail.com for your opportunity to be a guest. And then, of course, Linktree, click it. You can also copy and share it. Very important. You'll find everything TWT there. It's just that easy. And make sure you follow and subscribe. I hope everybody out there enjoys their Thursday. I hope you have enjoyable, safe weekend. And as always, I will talk to you later.